Talk. My name is Chimomalungu, your host. Today on the show, our guest is known as the married man, the family man. He also contested in the just-ended August 2021 general elections as the Lusaka mayor. Ladies and gentlemen, help me welcome Chilufya Tayali. Hi.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good. Thank you very much. It's nice to, it's an honor for me to appear on this wonderful program of yours.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We actually welcome you to Open Talk. It's actually an honor to have you here. We actually know you're a very busy man, so for you to accept to do this interview with us means a lot.
Well, nobody's busy. It's just a matter of priorities. And of course, who would want to miss appearing on this program?
Thank you so much. Mr. Tayali, a lot of people, I would say, we know you as one of the most controversial people on Facebook. Controversial. A lot of people love you, would say, and a lot of people also don't love you, based on the comments that we just get to see every time you post a photo or you post something on Facebook.
Yeah.
So how does it feel to be in three different spaces as one particular person?
Loved, hated,
controversial.
loved to be hated. Well, I think for me, it's just when you are in public domain, you expect that. So the moment you put out yourself out there in the public, whichever way, I mean, including yourself, you are a presenter, you are the host of this program, the moment people start looking at you, they start having an opinion. And those opinions, they are different. I mean, they are diverse. Others will like you. Some they will just see you and they say, this is a very nice person. You just flow. But others, they will not like you. And others, they will be like, let me hear what he has to say. And if you say something that they don't like, I mean, they'll hate you. So at the end of the day, for me, because I know this, I don't have a problem. I don't have a problem with when people say, Katari, I don't like you. I don't have a problem. Katari, what, Mushanina, whatever. I don't have a problem. And even those that like me, I just say thank you. So it is part of being in public. When you're in public, you can't expect everybody to like you. You can't expect people to say the same things. They will have diverse opinions about you, because human beings are diverse. Human beings are unique. Each person is unique and they see things from their point of view.
So it's easy for us to assume we know everything about you. We know your child care, we know your wife, we know like almost everything about Chilufya Tayali. So we don't want to run with what we see on social media. So give us a full introduction of who Chilufya Tayali really is, away from social media, of course.
Well, I mean, since you mentioned Kia, you give me an impression that you only know Kia, but I've got other two daughters.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm sure that they are also not very private, except that they are older. Kia, I can drag her whichever way I want. Let's take a picture. Stand there, take a picture, whatever. But for these other ones, they say, hey, sit there and take a picture. No, Daddy, I don't want. Oh, yeah. Let me see that picture, and so on and so forth. But of course, I do have two other daughters. And they don't appear very much as Kia does, because they are older and they have got their own opinions and so on and so forth. But sometimes people tend to say, you just love Kia because what Kia? No. It's not just because I love Kia alone. I also love my other two daughters, except that for them, they can't appear as much as Kia does. But about my background, I mean, of course, there isn't much to say, because I'm simply a person that grew up, from the Copper Belt, particularly in Ndola. I was born and bred in Ndola. I went to school in Ndola. After I completed school, I had this passion of trying to help out people, because when you grow up poor, you have a lot of people helping you because you are poor. And as such, at one point when I was growing up, I learned to appreciate the generosity of others. I learned to appreciate the compassion of others. And because of that, I thought I could do something as well with my life, to give something to people as well, because I know how it feels when at one point you don't have anything, you don't have food, sometimes I could go days without food. You don't have clothes, you don't have uniforms, and somebody helps you. So in you come up with, you develop that sense of appreciation for others, and you want to do something. So that led me to try and become a priest. So when I completed school, I actually wanted to become a priest, and I went into the seminary. Unfortunately, like they say, many are called, but few are chosen. So I had to come out of priesthood after 7 years of trying. I came out of that and came back to Zambia, because my priestly formation was done partly in Malawi and the other one in Uganda. So when I came back in the country, enrolled at University of Zambia through a special program to learn IT, because I wanted to do something so that I can be able to survive. Remember, I'm a poor guy. So I've come back from the seminary, I don't have a job, I don't have people, I don't want to be going around begging again. So I had to come up with something that can quickly give me a livelihood. And that's how I started, information technology at UNZA through the computer science department at that time. At UNZA itself, that's when I met my first wife, and who I had the 2 children that I spoke about earlier. And later on, I established a company called Chilufya Computer Solutions. A lot of people don't know this. I mean, they don't know about Chilufya Computer Solutions, but actually, I did very well as a businessman, running as information technology technologist, giving IT solutions. And I made a little bit of money, but still the passion of trying to help was still with me. And that's how I set up the Zambian Voice, so that I can help out people through that. But of course, running a company and running an NGO, the NGO has got bigger demand than what the company was making. So the little money that I was making from the company could not sustain Zambian Voice. And that's how I found, who has the money? It's the politicians. And I started interacting with the politicians, cheating me. They would help me with this, they would help you with that, and so on and so forth. At the end of the day, it was all lies. And then I said, well, you know what? If they are lying that they will do this, they lie to me, they lie to the people, why can't I be the difference? And that's how I formed the political party, Economic and Equity Party. Pretty much, that is where we are today. Of course, my first marriage ended after about 5 years, and I stayed, for almost 10 years before I finally fell in love again and got married to my wife, and we have kids. I think you have it all.
Awesome. Let's talk about you being a priest for 7 years, and then you decided you no longer wanted to be a priest. How did people take that? Close relations, family, your friends? Did people have anything to say about that, or everyone was just comfortable with the decision that you made?
Firstly, I'm a very open person, and I'm a person that accepts my weaknesses and strengths. I actually didn't decide to get out of priesthood. I was kicked out. I was kicked out because of being controversial. Chilufya Tayali, my existence is really centered on justice. I've got a very strong sense of justice and fairness. And I'm also a very soft person, actually. My heart is quite soft. So, when I see certain things are happening, my heart gets crushed. Even when I see people suffering, I mean, for me, even when I'm sleeping, it will be bothering me. So I've got that soft heart. And, that sense of justice, I hate it when I see somebody being ill-treated, being taken advantage of. I just don't like it. But unfortunately, these things, they're even in the church. Even in the church, they're there because in the church, they're also human beings. and I was that controversial, not really that certain, the things that I was kicked out for, they weren't about me. I was actually doing very well in the seminary myself. Throughout my time in the seminary, I was actually the head boy, and I was loved by priests. But I was always in trouble when I saw that one of my fellows has not been treated well, or something has not gone right, and then I would make noise a lot. One of the issues that used to be so much of a problem for me, we preach about helping the poor.
Yes.
But the church, sometimes you live in a nice house and you're eating very well, but outside there are these poor people. Oh, yeah. And when poor people come, you find that they can't even enter your house. They have to be outside and meet them there, and the help is quite limited. But for me, being young and having this sense of when I see somebody poor, I want to help. And sometimes I remember one of my formators used to tell me, Chilufya, you are not Jesus Christ. Even Jesus Christ did not feed everyone, They had a point. Because really it's true. I mean, you can only give what you have. But for me, I was that kind of person who wanted to even to give the last bread, give it out. And then my formators would be like, but if you give the last bread, then what are we going to eat? So it's those kind of issues that, made the formators, my superiors, decide to say, I think you better go and make your own money and help out. Oh, yeah. So that is how I came out. And of course, the challenge which is there is that most of the times when you are in the seminary or you are a priest, people see you, this holy guy, and they respect you, and it's very nice when you're walking around, especially when you're wearing those robes. It feels nice. You feel like an angel, and people are all over, bowing and whatever, giving you respect. Then when you come out, and they are calling you brother, oh, sorry, I'm no longer brother. The attitude completely changes. And if you're not very careful, you can actually go into depression. And a number of seminarians have actually committed suicide because it is difficult sometimes to make it in the community. Thank God I somehow managed very well. And I think what really helped me was the fact that I quickly went into university. So there at campus, actually, if you met me at campus and you mention anything to do with priesthood, I'll tell you, I don't know who you're talking about. Right. So I just went in quietly and never wanted anyone to recognize me as such. But yeah, so I survived it, and I thank God really. He helped me through.
Okay, yeah. Awesome. You just talked about interacting with a lot of politicians, and then that's where you drew the interest to join politics.
Yeah.
You know how most of the times you aspire to want to do something, and then there's just this voice in you that tells you are maybe not qualified to do it, or maybe you're not just good enough for doing something.
Yes.
So did you at any point feel you were not really, really good or qualified for being a politician? So what really, really moved you? What really made you feel like you would make it being a politician?
I will tell you that that voice, in all of us, there is always like that nice old song, should I say yes? Should I say no?
Yes. There
is always that voice. Every day you have that voice. It's rare in our lives that we have that conviction to say, this is it. Most of the times, especially when you are in the process, you doubt. And I have those doubts. Those doubts are every day, even today. Even today, this morning, I was actually talking to my wife, and I was like, you know what? Sometimes I feel like I can drop these politics. It is always there. And it is more challenging than what a lot of people think, especially when your motivation is just trying to help. Because for me, I know a lot of politicians say this, but for me, really, I think I would have a better life on my own with my family without being in the public. I think I would do much better. I really think I would do much better because, it's very nice. I mean, you move with your family, you go wherever you are. Now, my friend, every day you have these phone calls, this one is calling you, this one is calling you. And when people are calling you, they don't assume that you have got other people who are also asking something from you. It is about them. So that can be burdensome. That can be burdensome. And especially when you don't have, like, you know, I'm not broke. We are okay. We live quite well with my family. But there are so many people that are always asking for this and that. And I don't have, you know, enough to give everybody, you know, which makes me now understand what my superiors when I was in the seminary were talking about. Because me, I just wanted to give. And, you know, they were telling me, hello, you can't keep on giving. You don't have it. Now I do understand it because really sometimes I don't have the resources. So it's a little bit challenging. And yeah, many times than not, I do think like, I wish I could just be with my family.
Mr. Tayali, talk us through your journey through politics. So there's you starting out, getting scared, being skeptical here and there. So talk us through your journey from inception, your political journey from inception till date where you are now.
Pretty much, like I said, it wasn't really my intention. I'm not the guy that was growing up saying, I want to become a president. No, it was not part of me. For me, the dream that I had is this priest, you know, spreading your hands, you know, consecrating the Eucharist. That is just was my dream. That's all I wanted. I just wanted to have that time where I can extend my hands, lay my hands on the Eucharist and a priest. That's all I wanted. When I felt that, I said, okay, I should continue somehow. I should continue somehow. And somehow even on my page, what I do, people may not realize, but it is something that I wish I could do as a priest. For example, preaching. I do preach. I do read the Bible and share my thoughts about that. That's preaching. I do counseling. You know, I do talk about some of these things. That's counseling, and that's what priests do. So I never wanted to become a priest. I never thought I would be a priest until the politicians disappointed me, because at some point those people who were following me, I was actually looking after street kids and the sex workers. I was helping them out. I used to have street kids come to my house. I would cook for them. Some of them I was sending them to schools. Unfortunately, I didn't have enough resources, but I was getting popular and I was getting the goodwill from people. But a politician saw an advantage of this situation and came to me, you know what? We can help you. We can build you an orphanage. You know, we'll build you an orphanage. We'll buy you a vehicle for the kids, and we will take up some of the children into school. And that was very attractive. And what should I do? Just help us win this election. That was the PF 2016. 2015-2016. Actually, it was 2015 after Sata died. You can help President Edgar Lungu win an election. The moment Edgar Lungu wins an election, on the other side, we'll give you this. It was attractive. And that's how I joined. I started becoming political and campaigning for Edgar Lungu and everything. Unfortunately, you know, that never came. That really made me very upset. These people, how could they lie to me like this? And you know, the worst thing is that when these people are telling you these things, you're also telling the children. Believe you me, I told kids, let's start looking for a house. Children were going around in the compounds looking for a house that we should buy. And they were excited. And when they won, it never happened. Imagine the disappointment in those kids. I felt very bad. I was very upset. And that's how I said, you know what? I'm going to become a politician and kick out PF. I started politics so that I can kick out PF. That's why I started politics. And that journey hasn't been smooth. Many things have not gone the way I thought, because I was thinking that politics is easy. But hey, unfortunately, politics also require money. So without money, it's very difficult to even grow your political party. You know, before I was looking at street kids and the sex workers that I was helping. Now I have, it's like the whole country, people are looking up to me. The president. And wherever you go, before, when I was Zambian voice director, I didn't have these cadres coming to me. Hey, Turishanimo. This time it's different. Wherever I'm passing, the president, Turiemo, and yet you don't have the money. So it has been a little bit of a challenge, but I'm soldiering on. And I appreciate the support that I'm getting from my family, especially my wife and my children. So what have I done so far? Well, I knew that politics, when you enter into politics, you have to offer checks and balances if you are on the opposition side. And I've done that, which has seen me in court several times. Many times I found myself in court because of offering checks and balances. And I've never gone to court because, I've stolen or anything. No, it's because I've challenged somebody. I've told off somebody. That's what has taken me to court. And that has been a toil on my part as well, equally on my family. Then I've also managed to compete in an election, the election that you just alluded to, as mayor, because I strongly believe that if you are in politics, you must be able to participate in the elections. I find it odd that some people have registered political parties and yet they have not contested any elections. So far we have participated as a party twice. Once it was in Chinsali, where we filled in a councillor, and we came out number 3 in that election. And this time around, when I stood as mayor, and again I came out number 3. I'm looking forward to 2026. Hopefully, I stand as president and become number 1.
That's nice.
Yeah.
You were an ardent supporter of Edgar Lungu.
Yeah.
You would support him here and there. Most of the times in your live videos, or you would just post posts where you just support Edgar Lungu. Up until the time you got arrested. And then when you got arrested, you changed to support UPND. Was that triggered by the arrest, or what really happened?
No, actually, and thank you for this question, and it gives me an opportunity to clarify this. Yes, I've been an ardent supporter of President Edgar Lungu, but I've also been his critic. I think if there is somebody that has really seriously criticized President Edgar Lungu, it's myself. Objectively, of course. And of course, some of these criticisms were not public because I had an opportunity somehow, not really meeting him and now and then, but yes, when I had an opportunity, I would criticize him. So my change was not precipitated by the arrest. No. Otherwise, why was I arrested? It was before. My fallout with the PF came before my arrest. It was because I had changed before that I was arrested. If I was okay with them, why did they arrest me? They arrested me because they realized to say, this guy is going the other direction. And they were scared. They didn't want to see me in the UPND camp. When I was talking about some of the things which have come to pass now, in their view, they thought Hakainde Hichilema had actually bought me. There was a story within the PF circles, particularly in State House. Somebody came up with a case in State House and said, Tayali has been given 2 million kwacha by Hakainde Hichilema. And this is why he's talking in the manner that he's doing. It is because of that they had to come up with something to arrest me. I mean, if I was really with the President Edgar Lungu, how could I criticize him to say, I mean, you are sponsoring, wrong people, something which is actually still in court, because I didn't agree with them. I fell out with them, and that's why they put me in the cells. But of course, what was more pronounced, what was more prominent, was the fact that I was inside. And people talk about, no, you changed after they arrested you. They wouldn't have arrested me if I had not changed before putting me in the cells.
Did you see the PF laws coming, and what do you have to say about it?
I saw it. And I was telling them. And to shut me up, because I was telling them, guys, you're going to lose this election. And because I was telling them that, the only way they thought, let's shut him up, arrest him. But I was telling them, I started telling them inside State House, I told them to say, I don't think President Edgar Lungu is going to make it. And I had my reasons. My reasons were simply because, a lot of people had become frustrated with President Edgar Lungu. A lot of things that had happened. For example, these so-called issues of fighting corruption. President Edgar Lungu never moved a finger to fight corruption. Even in situations whereby some of us came up with the so-called evidence or intelligence report to give it to him, he would give you hope that he's going to act, but he never acted. There are a number of ministers that we had cases and we were pushing and hoping that President Edgar Lungu would do something, and he never did anything. Meanwhile, these people, the cadres and everybody, they were busy splashing out money, and it used to pain. Even me, it used to pain me because I was not sharing. I was not part of that money, that corruption money. I was not part of it. But so I used to see these guys flashing money all over. And it feels very bad when you are hungry and you are seeing somebody playing around with money, making you feel like you are mulifikopo, tabakwa tamano, you tam look at you, us we are enjoying. And I was like, if I'm feeling like this myself, what about the people out there? So the issue of fighting corruption, nothing. Then there was too many false promises. This President Edgar Lungu would be visiting a lot of these areas. No, we are going to do this. No, we are going to do this. No, nothing. A good example, empowerment, youth empowerment. It was all, published. Empowerment. How many youths? They made us spend sleepless nights. We were not sleeping because I was actually helping when they announced that youth empowerment. I advertised through my company, the consultancy company that I do, to help youths set up companies and write proposals. I was very busy in the office, very busy at night writing proposals. My friend, how many of those got empowerment? They never did. When we talk about also this issue of students in schools who were looking for sponsorship, education became very expensive. And people were failing to pay. So, if you put all together, all this really, I could see that these guys, they are not going to survive. Because remember, when you mess up with the youths, who are the majority, be rest assured that you will not succeed. And it's the same with the new government that is there. They need to be very, very careful. President Hakainde Hichilema was voted by the youths. He has to make sure he delivers on the youths. If he doesn't, I see Hakainde Hichilema not going through in 2026.
Mr. Chilufya, you talked about a story circulating in State House where you were paid a 2 million kwacha. And then there's a name that has been given to you on social media by people. They call you Tayali Mshaninabwali. Do you think that did it come from that, or where did the name really come from? And do you also get money from people to finance your living?
You see, the people always come up with something, okay? People always come up with something so that they can draw you down. That is just normal, especially when you are in the public domain. And they'll find something. I mean, if you are a lady, they might call you, you sleep with this one and what, It's always, they have to come up with something. And why they do this, of course, it's because I was more in defense of President Edgar Lungu. Okay? I was more in defense of President Edgar Lungu. And for them to slow me down, to make me feel bad, they have to come up with this to say, well, you are given money, you are Mshani Navwali. But that's not the case. My life, I tell you, number one is by the grace of God. I look up to God for my survival. And of course, I have a business that I do. And I have created myself, I've positioned myself in a manner that, I am making money out of my brand. I'm making money out of my brand. The consultancy company that I started off is as a result of, look, I've made a name. I've made a name, so how can I use this name to make money? And what do I do? I mean, through my consultancy, most of the times I have these people coming to say, Mr. Tayali, my company has not been paid, by government. We supplied and we have not been paid for some time. I mean, because I have a name. When I call up whoever the accountant, hello, there is this company, things happen, isn't it? And I get commissions. And that is how I earn my living. And then, of course, I do continue in terms of helping people to come up with the tender documents, basically the overall business consultancy, setting up companies, even sourcing for finance. You start a business, who do you know who has money? I know a few people, so I'll be able to call, hey, hello, there is this person who has this company and it is limping, whatever, can you give him money, and so on and so forth. And I get commission out of that. That is how I survive. But of course, the issue is that in this country, people only know working is you wake up early in the morning, you go and bath and put on your tie and go to some office. For me, I make money even at home. On my page, I do advertise. And I'm not cheap. I think I'm one of the most expensive social media advertiser. I mean, because I know I've got the influence. I've got the influence. So pretty much from that point of view, I do make money that we can afford with my wife to enjoy ourselves, whenever we can, and our children. I think we are pretty much, our house, it's okay. We are really okay. We are not lacking anything. Except that when I say that, I mean, then phone calls will start ringing to say, Tayali this. I mean, I need to keep my family comfortable. Family comes first.
Oh, yes. Let's talk about your misunderstanding with Simon Mwewa. It was all over Facebook.
Yeah.
There was you posting a story, doing a live video. He would also post a story and also do a live video. Was that fight really there, or it was just for the numbers?
No, it was more, that feud was more from his side. That feud was more from his side. And it was quite smart on his side, actually. He started a page. He started blogging and everything, vlogging. And he wanted numbers. And one of the names that has been trending on social media is Chilufya. And so he had to tap on that popularity by attacking Chilufya Tayali. And, at some point, it would get too much, and I would want to respond to him, and I would respond. But it's like the one time I responded, the first time I responded, he rushed to court, So, and that saw us, having that issue. But at the end of the day, anyway, that feud was real. I mean, some of the things that he used to say were very hurtful to me. And I must admit that also some of the things I said to him were hurtful. Otherwise, why would he go to court? I never went to court. I went to court just because, to do some, like a counsel. When somebody takes you to court and you know that also is a culprit, you also take him to court so that at the end of the day, you just cancel there and whatever. But at the end of the day, I'm happy that we prevailed over that feud, and we are okay. And I still maintain my position that we apologize to each other, and we want to respect each other. So I now respect him as my brother, and we actually do talk time and again. We call each other whenever there is an issue. I do bounce it off. Bakalamba, what do you think about this? Sometimes he also calls me. So we are good, but it was real. But more, it was not from Chilufya Tayali, it was more from him to grow up his page. And he confessed himself to say, well, I achieved something. And for me, I think that was smart.
Awesome. You talked about having, like, your kids have now grown up and then they get to see things here and there, especially social media. How does your family handle you being called names, Mushani Nabwadi? Of course, like, I would like, it would literally get to me if my father got called such names by people.
Yeah.
So, like, how does your family, especially your wife, handle the names that people get to call you on social media? And just like social media in general, how does your family get to handle that?
The issue is that the people who say whatever they say on social media, they don't know me. They can say whatever it is. They will say all sorts of bad things, but they don't know me. But when you talk about my family, they know me. When you talk about my wife, I mean, particularly my wife, I mean, she's coming all the way from her country to come and live with me. And thank God, I mean, we are past our 2 years. We are, we are over 2 years. I mean, if she saw that I am what people say, I don't think she would be here with me.
Oh, yes.
So the difference is that those who say whatever they say, they don't know me. They just don't know me. My wife knows me. He knows who I am. He knows what I do. He knows my weaknesses. My wife actually boasts that I know you better than anybody. She claims she thinks she knows me. But anyway. But anyway, she knows me. She knows me. She understands me than those people out there. Okay. So she has no problem. So it's like that situation whereby you can be saying whatever it is, but when you know the person, it will not affect you. It will not affect you. My wife, I mean, I don't think she cares whatever they say. She reads. And by the way, when we post something, sometimes we sit and start exchanging the phone or sitting together, reading the comments. Right. So we read everything that people write. I mean, my wife, we are open. So she's even able to read the inbox. So people should know that. I mean, my inbox, my wife reads. And sometimes she even tells me, oh, there is somebody who has said this. Can you respond to it if it is important? Okay. Then with my children too, they know who their daddy is. Oh, yes. I've brought up my children. I've given them everything. My children are, not that I'm boasting, they have gone to private schools from baby class. They have had everything. I think my children in this country, I think they are one of the most traveled. We have gone Zambia. I think there's nowhere we have never been. There was a point where we reached to say, but we have gone this place, we have gone there, this place, we have gone there. So what do we do? And I said, my children, it's time to go out. And we started going out. So my children know their father. So whatever people say, it doesn't bother them. But even if you met my child, one of my children is at university. If you met her and try to engage about my father, about him, about me, she would not engage you. Oh, yes. Because I've told them, they can't convince everybody. So let them just listen to this news. They can't convince people, right, whatever they say. So my children will never defend me. They will never stand up and say, no, our dad is like this. Forget it. At the end of the day, they come to my house. They come home. They are my children. And I love them. And we have a wonderful family.
Awesome. Mr. Chilufya, you've talked about being exposed. You've been to a lot of places in Zambia. And I'm sure out of Zambia as well. So we have women in South Africa, we have women in Malawi, we have women in Zimbabwe, Zambia as well. Tell us about what really moved you about your wife. Why, why her? There have been any other woman. I'm sure you've seen a lot of women, you've met a lot of women, you've interacted with a lot of women, precisely. Yeah. So what really, really, really moved you about her? I think we want to find out.
Why her? A lot of people, again, when you read these comments, people say all sorts of comments. Why I married her? Why? Because I tell you, it's only. I think I've found something that I can't really explain. It's ineffable. It's ineffable. I can't really explain. Why her? Really, I can't. It's just something that just consumes you all. It's just everything. It's just everything about her. You know, when I went to Ethiopia, like I've been to many places, gone for holidays, and even that holiday when I met her in 2018, I had actually 4 countries on my itinerary: Kenya, Ethiopia, Rwanda, and Tanzania. This was my itinerary. I just wanted to spoil myself, you know. I said, you know, I'm just going to go out. I just wanted to go and spoil myself. And I'm telling you, I had a big plan just to enjoy my life. You know, I said, this time around, I'm going to forget my children. I'm just going to be me and just enjoy myself.
Oh, yes.
So when I went to Kenya, then I went to, the next stop was Ethiopia. And whilst I was enjoying myself, I met her. It was in circumstances that I never thought I would actually, you know, meet a person that I would, you know, in those lines, nothing. And when I met her, she really struck me by, you know, there is a spirit that is beyond the looks of a person. There is just a spirit that tells you to say, this person is really good. And just being in her presence, I felt that goodness. I felt that good spirit around her. And I saw everything beyond the physical, beyond the passion, everything, beyond her beauty. Everything was beyond that. I got that spirit. And I can't explain it really. And though I met her the first time, believe you me, when I went back to my hotel room, I sent a text message to one of my friends. I said, you know what? I've met this girl. She's just like something else. When I sent the picture, he said, she's very beautiful. Even me, I said, it's not really about that.
Yes.
You know, this is Ethiopia. I was telling her, this is Ethiopia. I mean, of course, my wife is the most beautiful. But the fact is that, there are a lot of beautiful girls, that's for sure.
Oh, yes.
But I said, this one is just different. So, there is, I think, when you meet that person, there is something that is beyond what you explain. Most of the times, when you want to marry somebody, we talk about, especially in Ganimo Mwewa Nakashi, you start easy, Ushara Bomba, what. I'm telling you, all these things really are not the issues that should motivate you to marry somebody. Oh, yes. Because all these things that you can talk about, the physical, the material, you can find them in any other person. They have to be that something that you feel inside. I don't know what it is, but for lack of since my vocabulary is limited, I would say love. I really love my wife. And every day I wake up, I feel like I'm loving her more. The problem is that I fail to compare. Did I love her less yesterday? I love my wife.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
What message do you have for the youths out there, especially that now we have seen a lot of youths engaging in politics? So what message do you have for the young people out there, politically and also just in general, like chasing your dreams and just participating in national issues?
Well, look, I'll take it from my point of view. Having been a youth as well, I was a youth, and life is not easy. And I know that life is not easy for a lot of youths even today. Life is not easy.
Oh, yes.
This is one thing. Life is not easy. Forget about it. Many times we are looking around, we want to make life easier. Life is not easy. Yeah. Life is not easy. So since life is not easy, you need to be tough.
Oh, yes.
You need to be tough. You need to be strong within yourself. You must be that person that say, I can do it. I can face this world. The moment you defeat yourself, you can't fight anything. So first, fight yourself. Conquer whatever fears that you have, whatever anxieties that you have within yourself. Be positive. Be positive. Once you are positive, you can do anything. You can join politics. Politics is also not easy, but there are challenges in there. But since you are self-confident, self-determined, you will conquer the challenges that you'll find in politics. Family, for example. Family is also not easy. Family is not easy. A lot of people see me talk about my family, post pictures and videos of my family, and some people think that it is like a rose garden.
Oh, yes.
I'm telling you, we have our challenges. We have our serious challenges. Believe me, we have our serious challenges. Oh, between me and my wife, I love my wife very much and everything, but sometimes we fight. Not physically, of course,
Oh, yeah.
but we do have our challenges. So even family is not easy. So if you're looking for a job, it's not easy. You're not going to get a job just today. You start looking for a job and you get it. My wife has been looking for a job. A lot of people think, no, Tayali is connected, what and what. Since we made up our minds that my wife should start working, it's almost 2 weeks now. She doesn't have a job yet. But we have to keep on fighting. You have to keep on fighting. So life is, be sure that life on earth is not easy. Because sometimes people think that, no, if I go to America, my friend, the people in America, they have got their own challenges. No, maybe if I go to Britain, the people in Britain, they have got their own challenges. So anywhere you go, as long as you're on earth, life is difficult. So there is no need to have that self-pity and start crying. There is no time for that. Fight. And know that whatever you want to be, you have to fight for it. Especially if you are fighting for bigger things. Like when you want to become a president. Don't expect that it will come that cheap. It will come with all sorts of names, name calling, challenges, and so on and so forth. But you have to keep fighting. I am fighting. And I know one day I will come and have an interview with you. Maybe an interview with you. Or maybe I will appoint you as something. I will be president.
Definitely. Mr. Chilufya, thank you so much. It's really, really been an amazing interview. I've had fun. I actually have a lot of questions, but we would have to come to the end of the show. Thank you so much for featuring on Open Talk. It's been an honor. I just see you on Facebook, so for me, sitting next to you like this, I feel,
we have gotten closer. And that's why they say the world is very small. Here we are.
Thank you so much.
It's been a pleasure for me, and I wish you all the best with this wonderful program that you have.
Thank you so much.
Good.
Well, our viewers, we had Chilufya Tayali as our guest for today. Thank you so much for watching. Do not forget to share and like the video. Thank you. See you next week, and goodbye.